to do is there's going to be 3 exercises or 3 lessons on foreshortening in this section. In this first one.
Hi everyone, I'm an artist from Germany and welcome to my little channel. I'm an emerging artist and I call myself this since 2025 when my child was born. So I have always been drawing and I have started with oil paintings in 2024. Beforehand I was drawing with ink pen because my background is when I was 13 I fell in love with manga. And then I tried to be a manga artist, obviously. And I went on it until like I was 21 or something like this. And then it shifted to like more of a hobby, all the drawing stuff, and I really couldn't take it that seriously, to be honest. I was always envisioning like stories in my head and I wanted to put them somewhere. I also did some writing, but overall it stayed like a hobby because I never fully committed. Anyways, it doesn't really suit the societal expectations I was raised in. I kind of kept it. It was like an inner battle of myself. Like, this can be so amazing. Like, I was like, it feels so good on one hand. On the other hand, it was like, oh, you have to be a little bit more. Really should be a little bit more normal, or maybe just be a little more. What we call in Germany is vernünftig. So I have these thoughts, like a lot of you guys maybe did too, or still have. And after my child was born, I was really having a major shift in my thinking because I just got another perspective on life. And I also had like a little bit of a trouble after birth and like health-wise. So things are different now and I'm fully engaged with my artist side at this point, and I wanted to share this journey a little bit. Sorry for my voice, it's pretty harsh because I had a cold. That's why it's gone. It sounds like I was on a concert. So I have started this original piece. I put some things together and I researched a lot of seagrass. And this animal is a dugong, and I didn't initially think I would do an animal. I put them together, but it was a bit difficult. This other animal I wasn't 100% happy with, so I tried to look for something else, but I came across this plant, which was very beautiful. I actually have this reference photo in my laptop for a while. And I researched a little bit about these types of seagrass, and they're kind of growing in different areas of the world. And then I came across the dugong because they live like on seagrass fields and are very gentle creatures. So I think, oh, that could be a match. So I tried to position on the canvas how I wanted it to be. And I was thinking about the background today, and I was thinking about different compositions, so I was a bit more aware of composition. Usually I just add things and see how they go. And these are different other sketches I was doing right now for original pieces, but none of them are really refined. The interesting thing about underwater scenes are that you have a 3D space, and the angle doesn't really matter as much as when you're on like on land. On land it really matters where the human is able to naturally look at. Humans are very used to how to navigate on land, and underwater it's like completely open, and it's a bit a strange world, to be honest, for human beings, because it's not a natural place to be and they don't know how to navigate it that much. Of course there are some rules that apply, but underwater you don't really have like the sense of weight, and you don't stand on the ground, you don't move around as usual, so you can also break a lot of rules where to place objects, and it's really fun because it's like a fantastical world underwater. So it means like no one really knows how it looks like. The other composition with the other animal, where the other animal like head was here and was like touching a little bit. It seemed like the other animal took up a lot of space. At the first in the initial stages I was thinking about whales and stuff like that, but they didn't fit in the composition because they need just a lot of room. So the only thing I could think of was putting the whale all over and just have the eye look at her, but it was too creepy. So I just moved on from that initial idea, and that's how the state of things are now. I just put on some Kassler brown, like Van Dyck brown, and it's also called Kassler Earth apparently, and it's the first time I use this color. I'm aware that graphite isn't the best thing to use under oils, but I just went with it because I'm very used to graphite, so I just did a sketch like that. And yeah, I tried to make it more or less accurate, but I didn't like refine the fingers really, or like the face is not 100% there. I just wiped a little bit of the highlights. So I refined again my list of process things. Overall, when I looked back at my old work, even like the line work stuff, they all had a kind of tenderness to them, even though some of the themes were not as tender, but there's some kind of gentleness which I could like distillate out of all of those pictures, and recently they are all like that. Even like my landscapes look a little bit like, not romantic, but it's a little bit, even not soft in color or in line brushwork. It's just like, it has this feeling, you know. This one is very unclear. This was like the object I was thinking about a lot lately because I want to incorporate it more. This like represents like resources for me. And I have some concepts where they are, this is also underwater, this is over water, but it's without the algae. It's also like in an empty space. This is also underwater. I'm putting some notes also. This one, for example, 3 portraits, and it's not necessarily underwater, but yeah, it's like a selfie picture, but I incorporated seaweed in this idea. So the seaweed was a thing I stumbled upon lately. The packaging like of these pills are often made of algae, and I looked up a lot about the plant algae, and so I'm doing some research here. I was also looking here a portrait about algae, which has also a lot of interesting images and stories and legends around seaweeds. And yeah, it's so interesting. These plants are actually fucking amazing, if I may say so. Look at this image, it's so beautiful. It looks very imaginative, right? And translucent. It's like a fairy tale book kind of image, just underwater, I guess. And it's very interesting how people depict water as well. There's so many different things you can do with it. So here's my reference for the dugong. I just looked up a lot of different images. What is very apparent in a lot of ocean photography is that the light comes from above, right? But I don't want to depict like the ocean surface light from underneath water that much, because it's very distracting from the subject, because it's so beautiful, right? It's a very beautiful imagery, and you've seen it probably 1,000 times painted before, and I actually like it, but I don't want to make it the main thing in my images. The underwater thing should be like more like a concept of inwardness, like so in contemplation. It's not like we need that light coming from outside, but from like more from within ourselves. So I don't want to necessarily be too close to the ocean surface, because it makes everything a little less conceptual, and it makes it so it makes it a little bit less open, because we know exactly where's the top and where's the bottom. Because a lot of pictures with underwater scenes have the ocean surface, the water surface, and it tends to dominate the whole thing. But I want to keep it a little bit more figurative and make it an open concept. So even if people feel like we're underwater, they don't exactly know where we are. I'm actually not sure at all, but that's all my thoughts for now. I joined an online course program, which is from Milan Art Institute. It's an American art school, which teaches an online course with a lot of basic fundamentals on drawing and painting, and then shifts to different sections where you build a portfolio, find like a process that's fitting for your style and your voice. In the last part, it talks about, or it teaches you about like art business and different things you can try out to actually monetize. And I'm really much more open-minded now, so I will just embrace the possibilities instead of thinking what is not possible. We have a part 1 textbook. I'm now in section 9, but I still have one portrait to finish from another section, which is oil paint, so it takes time to dry. And it's really neat to have it outside, because every time I finish a section or like in between, I put down some reflective notes, and there are questions to answer. It's like not the correct direction for you, I think, because it's a selfie camera. Like, did you enjoy the technique you used in this section, or how do you feel about your skill progression? Like, there's a little prompts. It's easy for me because I'm like someone who learns with writing better. That's why I decided to print it out. Otherwise, I would have never looked inside the PDF. And there's another textbook for part 2 and 3 and 4. Like, it was completely renewed when the new mastery program of 2026 was dropped in January. If you don't know about this program, you can just check out my affiliate link. I'm not getting paid for that directly or something like this, but just in case a student or someone interested goes through my link and comes to the Milan website and then joins the mastery program, I'll get a small commission for that. But otherwise, it's a free link. You don't have to worry about anything. And anyways, there's information about the mastery program and what exactly it is. I'm like halfway through part 1, I would say. I wish I was a bit further along, but part 7 or something, there's so many assignments, like so many drawing also. And yeah, I have like some feeling I'm always a little bit behind, because 1 week my child is sick or something, then 3 days we have her at home, and like the whole system between my husband and I is just breaking down. And like just time-wise, it's not possible. And I realized the more I paint regularly, the easier it is to start again. If I just had like a break of 1 or 2 days, it's a bit more hard. It's a bit more, not hard, but a little bit resistance coming up to go back, because you don't have the connection to the paintings anymore or to the drawings. Some are just like 30-minute sketches, so it's not like you have 6 assignments in a section where you have a finished piece. But yeah, like the drawing parts are mostly to give you a sense of idea of what the section is about, and teach you something in terms of technical skills. And the drawing is also very important, but the paintings usually are the ones we finish till the end, so we have a finished painting. And I think a lot of students have the problem that they try to finish every assignment to perfection and then get stuck with the program. So you have to be prepared to also have unfinished pieces and resist the urge to, I have to finish to every ounce of detail this assignment, or I will not submit it or whatever. I do submit my finished assignments to the coaching part 1, and they can provide feedback. Like, you get individual feedback on your assignment, because they actually know what they're trying to teach, and the coaches will always find something to point out to you, what could be better, or which is not accurate, or give you some tips on how to handle certain things you seem to have like trouble with more than once. So it's good to be consistent and submit all of that, but that's like, you don't have to. You can also do the program without talking to any coach or any person. I try to go to 1 meeting regularly in the week, and it's actually kind of motivating when I listen to the other stuff the people tell us. They have different problems. Some is just material, some is a single assignment which gives them headache at the moment or something like this. But doing this gives you a sense of community, and that you're not alone in like the class. Gets me excited again. So it's like, it's just for me personally, it's motivating and not like disturbing me or something like this. Yeah, you have to have some self-discipline, I think. But until now, I don't have any complaints about the program. It's better than I actually expected it to be for an online course. And then I think there's another painting I have to do in this section where I'm now, and then I'm section 10. And I haven't looked. I can actually look it up. Section 10. Simplifying complex compositions in indirect landscape. So this is what is coming up for me when I finish my current sections. And the first thing I have to do is like a crowd of people. And after that is perspective and cityscapes. And what I hear a lot about is the complaints that the Mastery Program students seem to have the similar style. Paintings look similar to each other. I can see that, but on the other hand, I don't agree with this critique. Like, yes, the most students of the Mastery Program, they go through part 1 or are stuck in part 1. That's just how it is. And if they start, you have to imagine like someone who didn't have a touch on design, hasn't painted much before, or was just an hobbyist. When these people they go to part 2 and have to find out what kind of ideas to explore. They tend to not have not the fantasy or any type of, if they didn't have to question themselves before, what do I actually want to tell with my art? It actually would be very hard to find subject matter if you haven't done them before, or be in that regard be a bit more conceptual, because it's not something you can suddenly earn as a skill. It's something you have to develop. So of course a lot of Milan art students do paint flowers and birds because that's what I learned in part 1. It's not like we have to do them as soon as we go to part 2 or 3, especially in the last parts where we have to do our own portfolio. There's no restriction. I see that a lot of students seem to have similar style. It's because they apply the similar techniques to similar subjects. I do look at a lot of my peers, even in part 2, my peers' work. And yes, there are some techniques that are coming up over and over because it was taught in the lessons, but it doesn't mean the subject matter is always the same. It's just a tendency. So I think it seems like from outside, all mastery programs have the same style and adopt the style of Dimitra and Ellie, which is kind of true because they learn from them. You adapt their methods. It's just natural. But that doesn't mean they are required to continue to draw like that. It's just difficult for some people who don't have much experience in drawing or have a long life of with touch points on design, or if they miss touch points like this in their life, they take much longer time to break out of their masters or their teachers' styles. Think about who is the target group or buyer of Milan Art Institute. This target group is probably a woman, probably a bit more along life, in their second life, or not in a retirement yet, but soon, or questioning their life choices or whatever. And these people, maybe in their age group, tend to have a similar sense of beauty. So it's not only one thing that feeds into the Milan Art Institute students to have similar styles. It's actually not the case if I look at the other peer group work. And I've seen also very masculine images. It's not prevalent, or it's something that appears every day, but it does happen, and some people have really interesting imaginations. I mean, I come from a background which just paints from imagination, draws from imagination, so conceptualizing ideas is not so, it's not such an abstract task for me, because I've done it a lot of times before. Let them paint flowers if they want. I love flowers. People are a bit more judgmental about this, but yeah, if they want to branch out to different styles, they will go their way in 1 or 2 years after finishing the program, if they ever finish it. If they continue with their art practice, they will have a totally different style than sensibly like the teachers of this program. They actually address this problem. They have some new teachers within the program which have different style of Ellie and Dimitra, which come from a different background. So their style is a bit different, their thought process is different, and they teach some classes in the mastery program which is meant for the students to obtain a sense of their endless possibilities and how to develop a style or how things are done. And it's not encouraged to copy one-on-one Milan art. It's not their intention to have you copy Dimitra's art or Ellie's art. It's not at all. My only critique on the program so far is for the painting. Until my part 10, there's not one comprehensive like a guide to color, and they give you tips how to mix colors along the way, but there's no like single separate segment of how to mix colors for people who just started, because I think for them it's very difficult. If you just played with watercolors as a child, it's not sufficient to understand how to paint and mix colors while painting. So I miss a class about mixing colors just in the beginning somewhere, because they don't want to overwhelm the students. But like in the acrylic part, like in the very first beginning, I think there would be, if there is an optional class for color mixing, I think that would be very helpful. It's very challenging to mix colors if you haven't even touched paint before. And you might argue you can acquire the knowledge you're missing from another program, but I think it should have included that, especially in the new version, or like even give a masterclass about colors. But maybe there is even something about color mixing basics, but I didn't see it. Students of the Mastery Program have to do the monster portrait, an assignment which is quite infamous in the Milan art program. And I learned quite a lot about skin colors, and it's really difficult to create likeness with portraits in general. But I was doing okay, I think, and I picked a man since I have mostly women in my drawings and paintings. You can see here, every time I finish a layer or clean up my palette, I do a list of things I have to work on next time, so I don't have to think really much about it. Else I would forget like half of them, because my brain is already fried at the end of a painting session. And it can happen multiple times, because if you stand back from your painting, you just realize different things, and maybe you can ask for someone's opinion and they will point out something else, and there is always something to do. I don't know if you can remember, guys, but I did oil painting. I can show it to you actually, because it's hanging here. This one. So this painting is called Reconcile, and it condenses a little bit the phase I was in when I painted it, and what was my wish to embrace, like my artist side and also my motherhood side, because it used to be the year of the snake painting, because I was painting it when I was pregnant, and yeah, it was like a condensation of this feeling and this state. It's hard to tell in words, but it's like you are accepting change and really internalizing it and seeing the possibility in it, and not only the scary part. That's why this underwater. I have submitted this to Arts to Heart project, and they publish like magazines and really table books with a compilation of artists and a theme, and sometimes it's just like 100 emerging artists of 2025 or whatever, like a Nature edition magazine or something like this. And I have submitted to them when I started oil painting with another piece of mine, which is a spring piece for the theme. The overall theme was, I think, life or something like this. And I didn't really make it in the selection. But the painting, the snake painting, I submitted in February, and then I went to Marrakesh. And when I came back, I didn't really think about it much anymore, because it was quite a long time. And then I think in May we got the notice that this piece was actually selected for 100 emerging artworks of 2026, and I was like, and compiled in a table book, which is crazy. I know this is happening for a while now, so I'm not super excited anymore, but when I first heard the news, I was like totally awestruck, and I couldn't really believe it. Like a few days I was like, my heart was pounding, and then I had to find, within a week I had to submit like a high resolution picture, so I had to find someone. We have like a journalist friend who has a good camera, and we had to lend the camera like last minute, And then you have to also fill out an interview form, and there's also some promotion which will happen after release. So I'm very excited, that's why I'm talking very fast. I have to be careful with my voice because I am feeling it breaking. It's like the third day, so it's not as bad as anymore. Yeah, so the piece made it through, and long story short, it was like one of my goals, like to find an opportunity other than exhibition this year, or apply to them as an artist and try. And I actually did come through, and I didn't think it would happen so soon. And I was like, oh boy, I wish I was more prepared. It was the first thing in my mind, because I knew that a lot of people will maybe find my profile. My website was not even finished. It didn't have cookie banner and imprint and stuff. And I did all of that. I reworked a little bit on my website. It's not 100% there, but it's now in a state where I can say, oh, I can show it to people. And I actually also set up, like in the last month, I set up my newsletter. So if you're interested in some small musings in between, I didn't start it yet, but I set everything up to get it going. You can subscribe to that if you're interested. It's also in the link below. I link everything down below. That's one of the big news I had. I wanted to share last time, but I didn't because it was still very early when my last video came out, so I was waiting for it now. And I will show the book, of course, if it's released. That is very exciting. Another goal was to exhibit again, and I'm exhibiting in a group show locally here in my small town. All the details I will put in the screen or down below. And 15 artists, I think, are selected this year. I'm one of them. This time, I have too much stuff to sell, because I also have a lot of this Milan art assignments, which are finished paintings. And I actually made a hallway with all my paintings, and I'm very happy about it. I will show you sometime. So we have a long hallway, very old school, like we have an old building, and it's like this long hallway is now my gallery, or it's turning into that. So it's really like a vibe. I also wanted to show you what I brought to Marrakesh, because after Marrakesh I didn't even talk about that trip at all, because I was just too busy. And I brought like a small little pouch here, and it has this size of a notebook. It's from Claire Fontaine, I think. This is the sketchbook I brought, and I just brought watercolors with me. I was thinking about gouache, but I have this very small watercolor palette. Actually, I'm surprised how much I use them. Like these are called half pan colors, and one I had a tube, I just squinted out. And I brought these with me, and I just brought this, the sketchbook, and one rag. And then I got some watercolor brushes. So we were very overwhelmed with a small child and traveling at the same time. So I did do so much drawing. I wish I did. I wanted to do once a day, but I couldn't do it. I had just 2 pictures. Other ones I painted at home somewhere, but with the same tools. So what are we drawing today? So this one is the first one I did in Marrakesh. Beautiful country, and I really like the material mix. It's like the first thing I noticed, like my senses picked up on the material mix of the surrounding. This was our riad with just a traditional hotel. The salt and pepper on the table, which were like in these open caskets. And this is like called a tagine, and they have like the small version of that in ceramic, and put the salt and pepper inside, and it was very beautiful. So I decided to include that. It was in the same hotel. Going on top of a mountain, so I tried to capture our guide here. It was the Eureka Valley tour. I just captured this from photograph. It wasn't done live, but the memory is very important for this one, so kept it going. This was in the second hotel. I actually drew this when we did a 5-day trip to a place very close to here, and I had a little time to paint, and I did this very roughly, and it looks I really like this earth color. When we were in Marrakesh, I actually fell in love with this in the window, and I said, oh my god, it's too expensive. And then my husband did contact the jewelrist, like in secret, like the seller, and said, because they had the WhatsApp contact, and he made it so that this was delivered to our last hotel on the last day, and he gifted it to me the day before we left. And it's a very beautiful necklace. I didn't really get into details because I didn't finish like the whole circle, but I just wanted to capture like the essence of it. And I think the gold was very difficult to paint, but it reads very well in my opinion. But I didn't really do much shadow, as you can see. The treasure I left behind, but it was love at first sight, and now it's just treasure because it's actually here in my home. That's a very beautiful story, and I was so surprised because I didn't know how he had the time to manage all that. This was not in Marrakesh. This was in Champs-Élysées, which is a lake where we had this 5-day trip, and this was the first time my daughter was swimming in the lake, and I could capture this moment, which was so cute. I wish I had more time to refine the water to beach transition. The beach is very short, yeah, but there's a lot of shallow water, and it was so beautiful. We had really good weather. Oh, I missed this one. So this one is in Clé del Sol. I have two from the same hotel. This hotel had so many different views I would want to capture. I have another one, but I didn't finish that one. This one was done live. So I was sitting on the ground here at the end of this pathway, kinda, and was leaning on like some balcony thing, and this was the way down. The whole architecture of Marrakesh houses was so nice, and it is the variation which is so healing for the eyes. I think, and just instead of having a block of house, having all these intricate ways, and I don't know, it's just so beautiful. I just love it. So this was live, and this was painted at home after the trip was over. Decided to do this more often. So this is my watercolor live painting sketchbook now, because the results are always imperfect, but they're always also beautiful in a way. And I learn a lot about value and making quick decisions. For example, leaving the white is not very natural to me because I'm not a watercolorist, but even if you don't paint white, it still reads very well, the off-white kind of colors. But I really want to do it more. I was thinking it's actually amazing, and especially in the warmer months. Here it's not so hot, and there are so many things you get to be aware of, because you don't paint only with your eyes, you paint also with sensation. Like you have other senses of your body which is triggered, and even small stories you see, like people around you or trees moving, like the whole movement of the universe, like the whole landscape is moving around you in just subtle ways. It doesn't have to be a train or something, but like even just people who pick something up and then just go somewhere else. It's just like these subtleties that invite you to make decisions which you wouldn't normally do when you're sitting at home. The sense is, oh, I feel very hot, so the colors turn out differently, or I apply paint more dryly, or whatever the languages you choose to transfer these impressions is very interesting. So I really want to do it more, because your whole body is like trying to not capture like 100% if that's not your goal, to capture realism, but to capture the scene. And the scene is so lively, you know? It's actually such an amazing thing. I would 100% recommend every beginner even to paint from life, but now I would recommend every artist to paint outside. And next year I would think about maybe making a really live group for plein air painting, where people just meet and sit outside like even an hour or 3 hours in 2 months, like one time or something. I don't know. So there's definitely a lot to learn from plein air painting, and I have so much respect for it now. It's crazy. And also the limited time is very helpful for people who are some control freak kind of painters. But yeah, you can always finish up at home. So this is my update for this time. I hope you subscribe to my newsletter, so there are some people I can write to. I will try to promote it a little bit in my real life as well when I do the exhibition, and then slowly start. I'm just a bit reluctant because I don't have like a portfolio, a really cohesive style yet. So in my mind I'm like, oh, it's not yet ready to, you're not ready to, whatever. It's just like some resistance again. I can do the best I can, and even though my portfolio is now full of assignments from my course, I still try to incorporate a touch of myself into them. You cannot not do this, because your brush stroke is very telling. And I'm also working on one original piece in between, but it's a very slow progress. Yeah, I think you have seen that in a different shot. So I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and go easy on yourself. And I hope to see you in the next one. If you have any questions, my voice is actually, no, it's over. I'm sorry guys. Bye bye.